Hello, I look like, I don't quite know what I look like, if I'm honest. I was going to say I look like a ghost, really pale, but doesn't really matter. I've I've been trying to get to grips with everything, and I've been trying to action plan for the past week or so to just be able to do that. And it's just like things have been getting worse and worse. And I think what it is, it's just like they've got to a really bad place, really deep, and they can get a lot worse, I know. But in terms of how bad life normally is, it's really bad. But that's not the point. The point is I'm here. The point is I've needed to adjust my consciousness, my mind, my body, to be able to. It's almost like re-entry from a space shuttle. You've got to decompress. You've got to. That's sort of really quick changes in pressure and gravity and heat and oxygen and all of that, and then there's a crash landing at the end. Well, it feels like that for me, and I'm able to put a few things in place today, that sort of make sense, that sort of say, well, look, things have been terrible in being able to do a thing, to do anything for the longest time. Things sort of make sense with what I've said today. I don't know how they're going to pan out. I sort of have my suspicions. But look, I mean, I'm here, and I keep acknowledging to myself how bad things can get, and for that reason, I take gratitude in what's been put on my plate, even though I was expecting a far bigger meal, so to speak. I have to remain grateful what's on my plate, because there's a bigger picture, and it's not like the hunger takes first priority. No, the mentality about, yeah, we were expecting a bigger meal, and really life should have delivered that meal, but for whatever reason we experienced hardships. We experienced like this is what it must have been like back in the day, man. And it was like, I'm trying to think of the name. When you have a bad yield of crops for one winter, even if you plough the fields all winter long, which you're going to do, and then to get no return on that, it's that sort of mentality you've given and you're expecting back, or at least you're expecting. And it's like you're realising you're going to have to have a harder period for the next few months, and you accept it and go on with it. I guess my problem is it's a bit more with mental health and what I'm experiencing now in terms of spirituality with the collective psychosis, the shared spiritual secret understanding between humans. Sorry, my mind's going blank. What? So I was saying, you know, I was expecting more from my boat. I was expecting to have done this a long time ago, for it to be completed, for more work in terms of, it was going to be a long-term project, but I set a bare minimum necessity list of what needed to be done, and realizing I'm not even going to achieve that anytime soon. And to be okay with it. To be okay with it. Because that's on my plate now. And if I feel ungrateful, I might not see what's right in front of me. And to realise, you know what, I am going to eat. You know, yeah, it's been a bad yield of crops, but we've still got something. We're still going to be able to survive. We're not going to be able to... All right, we're going to have a few 1 day a week, 2 days a week, where we snack in the evening instead of having a proper meal. But for 5 days a week, we'll be able to eat normally. And yeah, we won't be able to sell anything thereafter and be safe for the following summer or whatever. But we'll get by. And it brings that mentality back down to the present moment a bit, I guess, because just thinking about a shop, you know, all you need is some sort of monetary value, and you can go to a shop and pick up food. And it's a very airy-fairy thought that we don't give thought to it at all. But the level of thought that should be given to it is the level of thought that farmer might have to go through when he gets a bad yield of crops, or there's a potato famine like the past, or something, you know, or it will take us a volcanic eruption and the sky to turn black for weeks and weeks. That's not unheard of. Maybe not so much in the UK. But it's that sort of mentality. That's the mentality that we should have around food and purchasing and hunting and harvesting and planting and foresight. And yet it's like we can do it without even thinking about it. How many times I've been into a shop, not even thinking, purchase something like the coffee in front of me. I was barely thinking when I purchased it today. And there's no thought to it. Instead of like, you know, like, I'm going to have a coffee, I'm going to make myself a coffee. I know where this coffee has come from, like another continent. I know the value and the luxury in a coffee. And we've got Nescafe on the shops, you know, we really take it down to anything to make that value of, you know, fundamental life nothing. And I don't know what it does to the mentality, but it's not great. So to remember that in the moment when I'm here, it's a bit difficult. As I said, I've got a mental health disorder. And it's that sort of thing. It's that sort of thing. It's like that sort of level. I'm trying to deal with real real important life stuff. Because we didn't all live in concrete blocks and brick houses back in the day. It was like houses we made out of wood, and sometimes if we get a storm, the roof gets put through. All right, we're talking about a couple of 100 years ago maybe, but we were responsible for maintaining our homes. And it was at the whim of nature, and we didn't have power tools and DIY shops where you can go and pick up gaffer tape and make a quick repair, or some epoxy or fiberglass or steel, steel, hand saws. So there's a lot more thought to it, I'm sure, back in the day. I've not really contemplated it much. And where I am now, I'm airy-fairy, like thinking, oh yeah, I've got a flat that I'm having to leave because I was on benefits and disturbing neighbours with noise. I'm not saying anything why I'm leaving, but the mentality of what's going on in that moment, and why I'm moving onto this boat, and why I'm having hardship getting this boat ready for me to live on. Because of my mind, it was never considered a few 100 years ago. Unless you were, I'm sure, really, really unable to communicate. You had to just suck it up and get on with it as a normal person that was disturbed. So that's the sort of real juxtaposition of life, because where we are in modern society, it's not real. It's dependent upon so many things that are that are reliant upon very, very sensitive things like algorithms and computers and electricity and all of those elements. And then you've got economics that's based upon, the monetary system that's reliant upon economics. And economics is just a thought of the mind, and money has gone insane anyway. It's no longer real in terms of having physical value. It is just a commodity of itself. Money doesn't really exist anymore, but it has value because we all say money has value. So we're living in a really, really weird time. And I just rewind to the last time that was semi-real and say, well, let's use that as a reference. And that's what I did just then. So I don't know if you share that viewpoint. But, if you don't, you're just saying, well, yeah, you have it harder. It's not really here or there for me. It's not what I want to get into. So I'll keep it to nature, the last time that made sense in human history. But anyway, I just wanted to say, from my little life drama problems that are really horrible to experience, I've come to a working idea that I'm going to try and implement to find my way back to the collective psychosis, which is the mentality you all share, but it's not the mentality. I need to find myself there to be able to function where you all function. Because at the moment, when I see you all and you interact within the collective psychosis, it hurts me, it aggravates me, and I can't stay there. I don't want to be there. But I'm hoping I've come up with an idea where I'm able to start feeling more and more comfortable with your madness. And I say madness, it might be real spiritual, deep spiritual ideas, But from my perspective, it's madness. And from the perspective that I have a mental health disorder, it's also madness. So I'm not happy to I'm happy to label it as madness. There's no problem there. But anyway, I've figured out an idea as a solution to my life to start hopefully feeling more comfortable around your lives, because I think that's the only way forward in my life. You know, I can't see myself being isolated, alone for the rest of my life. It's just not functional, but things have got so bad, I'm having to consider it and look at it in this way, and it makes sense. But anyway, the first step of my action plan is to start eating at 6 o'clock, or in or around 6 o'clock. So it's gone past 6 o'clock now, I'm sure, and I've got to get back and put the first step into place.